That does set up our top 5 for the week, which is the top 5 toughest roads to a title shot. Victorious Florian. Go first. Here we go.
Well, I squeaked through, KB. I squeaked through, but I pulled it off. Number 5, how about Donald Cerrone? He went on a crazy run to get back into the, get the ability to fight for the belt. He fought some killers, did it again and again on his way to a rematch against RDA. Wasn't able to get it done against Dos Anjos, but boy, he smashed a lot of very good fighters on that run. Number 4, I mean, how do we not have Khabib Nurmagomedov? The guy is undefeated. All he has done is win leading up to being the champion in the UFC. And, yeah, what an impressive run. What, 25-0 now? My goodness. Yeah, tough guy right there. All right, number 3, Robbie Lawler. When he came from Strikeforce back into the UFC, man, he had a crazy run. You think about when he started as a 19-year-old in the UFC, then going to Strikeforce, coming back, and finally becoming UFC champion. I mean, he had a lot of fights under his belt, well over 20 fights before he became a champion, and against a lot of tough guys. So, had that initial loss against Hendricks, came back and became the champ. Amazing run there. And Michael Bisping, a guy who was fighting in all these no-name shows over in the UK, winning the Ultimate Fighter, being so close to getting a title shot and never getting it, and then on like 7 days or 10 days notice against Luke Rockhold, and introducing him to Left Hook Larry and getting the knockout win. Michael Bisping, I was very happy for our colleague KB. Now, number 1, Max Holloway. Obviously, we talked about him earlier. This guy losing his debut in the UFC against Dustin Poirier, actually got submitted there, then ended up, going on a little streak, then lost to Conor McGregor, and then on one of the greatest UFC streaks right now, the current 145-pound champ, Max Holloway. What a run. He went on to become the champion, and he's still on that run, guys.
Nice list.
Thank you.
Very, very good. I like it.
I like it. My list here it goes something like this. A little bit different than yours.
Okay, I like it.
I feel like you used a little bit some of the older fighters. I went with a little bit more of the young.
You're calling me old. I get it.
I had to highlight
Veteran is the word I prefer.
My other guy with the great hair and some great eyes to boot. He's got 2, not just one thing going for him. But my man Brian Ortega, he's on a run right now. I'm on the bandwagon with him, and he's doing great things. The guy is undefeated, and he's finally getting his chance at gold. Number 4 on the list, you said it earlier, how can you not include Cowboy Cerrone on this list? The man has fought everybody. I think in 1 year he had 7 fights. He might have won all 7 of those fights. He made a buttload of money and got him another crack at the title that year. Number 3 on my list, I'm going to say Jon Jones because of the resume that he put together. He came into the UFC such a young guy and was just taking out these veterans of the sport. The division was so dominant at one time, such a tough division. He went in there and just walked through everyone and put away legends in the process. Number 2, you said it as well, Max Holloway. This kid comes in, has a tough outing against Poirier with that armbar. Then he loses 2 in a row. Can you believe a guy like this that's on such a tear right now, lost 2 in a row at one point, was probably thinking, am I going to get my pink slips? Comes back, becomes a better fighter than ever, has that throws it down in the middle of the octagon, comes back, beats Aldo, retains the title. Such a great fighter to watch right now. But number 1 on my list, I got to give it to my man, Tony Ferguson. This guy right here had one of the realest, toughest roads in the octagon. Everybody, we spoke about it earlier, calling out people and trying to talk the talk, but they weren't walking the walk. Tony was walking the walk, fighting anybody, anytime, anywhere. Short notice, he did not care. He was putting guys away, doing so in style. Look at this. That was against Dos Anjos. He did that at altitude, 5 rounds, outstruck the striker. He looked phenomenal. My man, Tony Ferguson, doing big things.
It's a good list.
Very good list. Very good list. I don't have a consolation prize, though. I'm sorry. It's just that Kenny gets the belt and you get...
It's all right.
Can we get him like a little mini black belt, maybe? Yeah, we'll give you a little smaller one. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tiny.
We might have to elevate to red belt for you at some point, Kenny.
I'm going to give him a piece of my black belt.
I could take a
coral belt.
Really look for it, but
I'll take a coral belt.
A piece of it.
That's the only way you're going to get it is to take it.
I'm a sharer.
Nice. All right, stay with us. Coming up, we've got our social media segment, Rapid Fire. You send in your questions via social media to these 2. Find out if yours got selected. Come on back to UFC Now.